What would you prefer? Like off, off, or one out? I don't off, but I do off.
Hello and welcome to the 30th episode of Earbuddies. I am Ian Meyer, joined per usual by the purveyor of jugs himself, Scott the Gooch Krause. Scott, what's going on?
Sup, Minch? Wamp wamp.
How are you, Scott? It's been a while.
30. I didn't know that.
Today, this is episode 30. I stopped doing the numbers because, they started kind of going a little out of order here and there.
Yeah.
A little behind the scenes for the listeners.
Yeah, cool.
But, today marks episode 30.
We've run through our entire backlog, so you can be safe in assuming this will be number 30. Yeah.
And we are moving on to a bi-weekly schedule.
Yeah, I guess that's the formal announcement.
Yeah, we've been away from the mic for a minute.
It's been 2-3 weeks.
It's been several weeks. What's been going on? How are you? We have things
great.
to talk about today.
Yeah, we actually have some things to talk about. Yeah. Would you like me to begin?
Yeah, tell me what you've been got going on.
Well, let's see what I've been got going on. I went to Reno 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Was that 2 weeks ago? Yeah, I went to Reno and I saw Pile.
Yeah.
I saw freaking Pile.
I saw your stories.
Yeah.
As the millennials say. And it looked cool.
It was tight. It was a small club called the Holland Project, which it reminded me a lot of a club that we used to have here called Luigi's Fun Garden.
Oh, yeah.
Luigi's Fun Garden was like a pizza show venue, but this place didn't serve pizza. This was but it had the same vibe. It was like kids, like early college, high school kids that were just putting on, it was like self run,
Yeah. R.I.P. Luigi's.
Yeah, that was the best place in Sac, and it's gone because
they got bought out, right? And then the new people just decided not to do music.
Yeah, they got bought out by the cowardly Mexican restaurant next door. What are they called? No, that's not Rey Azteca. What are they called?
I don't know. I didn't know there was a Mexican restaurant next door.
Something Azul. If you're in Sacramento, the Mexican place near K and 21st or something Azul, don't ever go there because they're cowards. They bought up Luigi's.
Great venue.
Great venue, the best all ages venue in Sacramento.
Too loud sometimes, but very intimate and personable.
Yeah. And they closed it. No, they bought it. They made worse pizza. They changed the name and then they changed the pizza recipe. Way worse.
Shit.
And then they don't play shows there anymore. So, they can suck my dick.
Bullshit. Get over here, Azul. Suck Scott's dick.
I wish I remember their name so I could fully shame them, but something Azul.
So I can fully tell them to suck my dick.
Yeah. Every time I walk by there, I pee on their window. Anyway, this place was cool. Really cool,
That's
actually.
True aggression.
Every time I walk by them, I pee in my pants a little bit. Just out of spite.
Enraged.
There was not that many people there for
really
an album that's gotten this much traction. There were 3 bands. The other bands were great too. It was Pry was the opener, and State Champion was awesome. They're really cool.
Was Pissed Jeans there?
No.
Everybody,
that'd be awesome. Then there would be a lot of people there.
Everybody, go look up the band Pissed Jeans, but specifically look up the song "I'm a Man."
Yeah,
it's fantastic. You won't regret it.
Sounds nothing like the rest of their songs, but yeah, I agree.
Although every female that I've shown that song to did not think it was very funny.
Well, I wonder what our percentage of male to female listeners are. I think it's pretty.
I like to think
skewed.
We have majority female listeners.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
We do have some. I know that.
We do have some.
But I had a couple notes I took for Pile. My favorite album of the year so far, Pile Green and Gray. My favorite album of the year so far. I told everyone in the band that.
Yeah, say it again. You told everyone in the band that?
Yeah, I did tell them that. I was like weirdly stalking Rick McGuire, the band leader, the singer.
Oh, yeah.
I was like kind of hovering him, and then he would just kind of disappear He seemed like a really nice guy. I did talk to him a little bit.
That's pretty awesome.
One thing I will say about him, I saw the show. One faux pas that he did. He played guitar over his dick.
Over the dick.
Not under it, not above it. He played over the dick, which is a big no-no in rock and roll. You got to play under the dick or over the dick.
I think I'm slightly over the dick when I play. I think that when I play, you'd be able to see the dick.
Above the dick.
Yeah, like you could just see it just in the curvature of the guitar. So the guitar's just slightly above it, just enough so you can see some shaft.
Yeah. Okay, that's acceptable.
If I were in the nude performing.
I don't know what Rick's rocking, but there was a fair coverage.
Little do you know, it was wildly over the tip.
Wildly over the tip?
Yeah.
He just has like a...
Maybe that shit hangs low.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know his body, so...
His tip was kissing his kneecaps.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe he was doing everything right, and I'm just being judgmental. They played pretty much the whole new album.
That's awesome.
And they played a lot of songs sequentially, because in the album, something that we noted was a lot of songs kind of went into each other.
Right.
They didn't start off with the first song of the album, but they played a lot of chunks of the album sequentially, which I thought was really cool. The bass guy, he had his back to the audience literally the entire show, which I thought was interesting. But I started to become kind of mesmerized. You
know, I don't know if he's shy or not. I would imagine not. But I read that the lead singer of Portugal the Man was very shy when they were kind of getting going. You know, he was shy about his vocals, and he would actually turn around and like face the drummer pretty much. And then I think they made a joke that he would like slowly over time, you know, he would go sideways, and then he ultimately finally would face the crowd. But I don't really remember if that was a joke or if that was actually a true thing. He would slowly pivot until he finally was facing the crowd.
This guy, he was right in front of me the entire time. I was front and center. And
staring at his ass.
Yeah, I was just, I was staring at his ass. Who are we kidding? But he was facing the drummer the whole time. The band sounded awesome. It was a dream come true for me.
That's awesome. I wish I could have gone to that, but it was on like a Tuesday, right?
It was on a Monday night in Reno, which is a 2-hour drive for us. So I took the day off, and they ended the show with the Tiny Wrists of Stephen Miller. You know that song? The one where he's like yelling.
I don't remember.
Steven! Anyway.
I don't remember how it goes.
He like got in the crowd and like got into a fetal position. It was pretty sick. In like a small venue with like no one there. He just kind of... It was cool.
That's cool.
Very, very awesome show. I give it a C+.
C+?
No, I give it an A+. It was tight. If you have a chance to see Pile, if they're still touring by the time this comes out, I would highly recommend it. I still love this album. I still stand by my score. I give it a 9 or 9.5. 9. Yeah. I stand by 9. Also, I saw another artist that we reviewed, John Paul White.
Yes.
In San Francisco the following week. I saw John Paul White, friend of the show, Jessica. It was awesome. I didn't listen to him very much until our review. But I've become a fanboy. I feel
now you know what we mean.
Yeah. He's got the voice of an angel.
he kind of does. A goateed masculine angel.
Yeah, I saw him at the Chapel in San Francisco, which is kind of a relatively small venue. And I was on the balcony, and he just like for one song, he just walked into the audience, just him and the guitar, without any amplification on his voice.
And it probably sounded awesome.
And it sounded angelic. He's like, well, how tall is this guy too? He's like 6'5" or something. He's got to be.
I don't think he's that tall.
He's giant. He's a giant man with the voice of a god.
I mean, I'll accept that. That's fine. I want him to be both of those things. Be and have both those things. I don't know. I thought he was like 5'10", maybe 6 feet.
Oh, I thought he was tall, but
I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm a short man, so everyone looks tall to me. I can't judge. I don't know heights.
Yeah,
visibly.
I mean, I was pretty far away. I was pretty far away and pretty drunk, so hard to say. But I thought he looked really tall from where I was, and then his band was great. But yeah, it was awesome. That was an awesome show too. So A+, two A+ bangers in 2 weeks in different cities.
I wish I would have gone to that one, but I didn't want to drive down to San Francisco for it.
Yeah, so that's another 2 hours. So I went 2 hours in 2 different directions for these shows. There's
a band that I really like that I mentioned on the what episode was it? Oh, it was our 2018 wrap up episode. A band called Avatar. These Swedish dudes, another Swedish metal band. Really cool, very out of character for me to listen to. They put out a very strange album. They came through, they played San Francisco on a Thursday, and they played Reno on a Friday. And I didn't go to either of those shows, and I'm pretty bummed about it. It was actually the Friday of our reunion, which I also didn't go to.
So you just did nothing?
I just did, I went out with a coworker and some people. It was one of my coworkers' birthdays, so...
Oh, okay.
Went out and had some beers. But yeah, I wish I'd gone to that Avatar show. I don't remember why. I couldn't find anyone to go with me. And my my headlights, I think the biggest thing was my headlights right now are very like fogged over. I need to buff them out or something. Boring story, but I didn't trust going up to Reno with really dim headlights. Like driving through town, sometimes it's like, okay, I'm having a hard time seeing. I need to get that shit fixed.
Yeah, you got to go through some...
What do you use? Toothpaste?
Some hilly roads.
Use toothpaste, buff it out.
Some snowy areas, potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about car headlights. Yeah.
I don't know. Was it snowy when you went? I don't think it would be snowy.
No, it actually was completely clear and beautiful, but...
so I didn't end up going. I wish I did. But I did go to another show. This last Saturday, I saw ELO.
That's right.
Sorry, everybody. It was Jeff Lynne's ELO.
Yeah. Was he the only surviving member?
I think so. I don't know if he's the only surviving member, but I think he was the only original member on this tour. But I could be mistaken. Everybody else looked a lot younger than him, so I.
Oh, okay.
I think he was the only guy, but I could be wrong.
And for people who don't know, ELO is Electric Light Orchestra.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They did have a fantastic light show. I did post some stories. Maybe I'll post some more video or whatever, pictures. They had some lasers. It was cool. It was a good show.
Was there an opener? My mom went to that show.
Danny Harrison.
Yeah, so, okay.
George Harrison's son, I think.
My mom said he was really good. She texted me that he was really good.
The first couple songs were really cool. It was a little shoegazy, and it was
really
kind of neat. A little bit, yeah.
Huh.
Maybe it was just the live thing. I haven't listened to any of his material online at all.
Was it psychedelic?
A bit.
Okay.
Yeah, some of it. But some of his songs were I started kind of tuning out a little bit. Like I found myself kind of zoning out, but it was cool. I'm going to check out more of his material because I liked it. Overall, I liked it. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And ELO was fantastic. Came out the gate. Second song they played was Evil Woman. It was beautiful. The only snafu we ran into was when we were getting up to the metal detectors, they weren't allowing binoculars in. And my dad had a little pair of binoculars.
Why weren't they allowing binoculars?
Because there was going to be lasers. That was like the sole reason.
Okay.
And so I don't know really what difference that makes, I guess, except for like if you're trying to look at the band and then a laser hits you right in the binocular, maybe it's a liability for them or something.
Get blind.
I guess like... It would just amplify into your fucking retina.
It'll just like focus. It's some freak thing where it like focuses into your cornea or whatever. Yeah.
Maybe they were worried about that. And the guy was like, I'm sorry. Normally we would allow these, but we there's lasers. We can't.
Sorry, can't lasers.
That's basically what they were saying. Like normally we do, but there's lasers. So, my dad got a little fussy about it. He's like, well, like what the hell? I was like, Dad, just throw them away, give them to somebody, let them confiscate them. I'll buy you some new binoculars. He's like, but these are the good ones. He's got 2 small pairs, and these were the good ones that we were bringing. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Let's just let's get through this thing. So we gave him to the guy, and we get through the gate, and my dad's like kind of upset. He's like, what the hell, man? Like, those are his concert binoculars.
Yeah.
And so he's like, you know what? The guy even said, like, quickly at one point he mentioned, like, I mean, you can go, like, hide them somewhere if you want to, whatever. So we got through. My dad's like, you know what? I'm going to go stash them. I'm like, all right, you go stash them. I'm going to wait here because I'm not going back around in that line. He went and talked to the guy. He went and threw him in a bush somewhere, like calculated a distance down this walkway, threw him in a bush, like was like looking around, threw him behind him into this bush, and then came back through. The guy let him, he didn't have to go through the whole line. He went up to the side and he's like, hey, can I just come back through real quick? So a couple other guards scanned him real quick and checked everything, and then he came back through and it was fine. But he said when he went up to the guy and said like, hey, can I just go stash these somewhere? The guy was like, that's what I'm talking about. So dude was all for it.
That was it. Don't blow this guy's cover. He seems pretty cool.
He was very cool about it. I could hear him say to the people behind us, like, I hate doing that, but it is what it is.
I mean, like, that's something that they should send an email or something about.
It was posted online. I messaged Lynne about it. I was like, they didn't let in binoculars, you know. My dad's feeling a little weird about this. And she's like, they have it posted all over the internet that they're not going to be allowed at this show. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't look.
Oh, okay.
I didn't bring binoculars.
I'll still choose to be mad at them and not your dad.
It worked out in the end. After the show, we went through and we counted down and we got out our phone lights and we're looking through and huzzah, there they were, right in the bush.
Hell yeah.
Binocular bush. But it was a good show. That's a band that he's been listening to since like high school.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed himself and it was great.
Awesome.
It was a good show.
What would you rate it?
I would rate it, I don't know, I'd say like an 8. It's like a solid 8.
Okay. I was going letter scores for mine.
Oh, okay. I would rate it like a solid B.
Okay.
Like a B plus maybe. Only because like I didn't really get jazzed or pumped that much. I had a great time. I really enjoyed myself, but it's just not a band that gets me like juiced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They have some like singles that people all know.
Yeah.
Even if they don't know who did the song, it's like, oh, this is ELO.
Yeah.
Yep. They have a lot of stuff like that where it's like, oh, wow, this is ELO. Like if you didn't grow up with them, it's...
And if you didn't know who ELO was, it's like, nah, you do.
Yeah.
Whether you know it or not.
You listen to Pussycat Dolls, you know ELO.
Yes. The sample from... Evil Woman. Go listen to ELO's Evil Woman and then listen to Pussycat Dolls.
Is that Buttons?
I think it's Buttons. Nah, it ain't Buttons. It's Beep. Go listen to Electric Light Orchestra, Evil Woman, and then listen to Pussycat Dolls, Beep. And they use a sample that's from the ELO song.
Yeah.
You taught me that.
Did I?
You did.
Just now?
No, back in high school, I think.
2009.
Yeah, I don't remember which we were listening to, ELO or Pussycat Dolls, but that sample came up, and you were like, oh, that's such and... Oh, we were listening to ELO, and you were like, that's Pussycat Dolls.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like,
That's when I learned.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you learned it was on ELO.
Just that moment.
I learned that it was on Pussycat Dolls. Mm-hmm. That's
who
a sexy
sampled
song.
who? I don't know. I was born in the 90s.
I don't fucking know. That's a sexy song, though, Buttons. You listen to that song, Buttons?
Yeah, I remember enjoying that music video.
I think I did, too.
We all jerked off to that music video. Come on,
let's not get ahead of ourselves. Here's a fun fact. You want to know something really graphic? This is horrible. Everybody skip ahead like a minute if you don't want to hear this. Are you familiar with the term jilling off?
Jilling off. No.
Jilling off. That's female masturbation. It's like diddling.
Jilling off. Okay.
Jilling off. And it just clicked with me today. Guys jack off, girls jill off. Jack and Jill, that's fucking genius.
It's genius? Yeah. It's genius.
Was that a question?
I was processing it like, is that cool? Yeah,
it's not cool. It's disgusting, but it just clicked with me today. I'm like,
it's not disgusting.
All right, everybody does it, whatever. But that's I don't do it. I don't jill off. But
I don't jack off, but I do jill off.
Yeah. I made that connection today, and I'm like, I wonder if that's how that term came about. But I don't know.
Of course it is. You think that's a coincidence?
I do think it's a coincidence. I don't know. I don't know where jilling came from.
Well,
that's so graphic sounding. Saying jacking off is like, oh yeah, this jag off over here. This guy's jacking off. But women, it's like, no, she's classy. She jills.
What would you prefer? Like jilling off, jacking off, or rubbing one out?
Shit, it depends on the context.
Because everyone can agree on rubbing one out. Doesn't matter who you are. It's gender inclusive.
It knows no genderal boundaries. Genderal boundaries.
I cannot dispute. I generally agree with you.
Anyway, enough of that bullshit. Scott, you got anything else going on?
Yeah, I just want to quickly acknowledge and commemorate Dimple Records is closing.
Yes, this is true. It's very upsetting.
Sacramento establishment, Sacramento
local record store, books, vinyls.
It's like
a little bit of everything.
We had Tower Records. That was Sacramento. People don't realize that. And then we have Dimple Records. It's like, oh, it's Tower's gone, but we still have Dimple.
Right.
Dimple's gone now. Dimple's closing. Yep.
What
What is this? Like
I had never seen you emote so much in a text message as when I sent you the link saying that they were closing.
I'm devastated by this. Like
you sent what with like 5 question marks and no with about 5 exclamation points. I'd never seen you use more than one of either of those.
And you know how upset I was because I was literally poolside when I sent that text message. So I was in a great mood. No, I've spent countless hours in Dimples. I mean, they've kind of created me, you know? Like when I think about how much time I've spent in Dimples and how many things I've gotten just from spending an entire day at Dimple Records and going through their used section, just buying things on a whim for like $3-4 without having any knowledge about it. That's dying.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It is.
There's something different. I mean, I feel like this is going to sound like an old man, but you go over and you buy an album completely on, you've heard the name or you like the cover or it's just so cheap and it's like whatever. Most of my, it blows you away. It's like, no, it really did change who I am. It like made me who I am. Dimple Records. Yeah. Not Tower, because Dimple was the cheaper one. They were around at the same time, and Dimple lasted because it was affordable. Tower was like $20 a CD.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
It's a damn shame. They're doing some sales, and that'll be it. I don't know how long they'll be around, but I got to go spend my points.
Yeah, we got
a point system that was kind of cool.
We got to hit those up. I got a shitload of points, so.
Yeah, I bet I got a decent amount myself. So, R.I.P. Dimple Records.
Yep.
Scott, you want to dive in?
Let's dive in. What are we reviewing?
Today we're reviewing the latest album from Amon Amarth, Berserker.
Wow.
Do you have any familiarity with Amon Amarth?
Just the name.
Just the name?
Yeah.
You never heard of him before or listened to him before?
No, actually.
I think I was exposed to them years ago from Joe, actually. I know him and his brother went through a Nordic metal phase, and that's basically what these guys are.
They did, yeah.
They've been pegged as like Viking metal, but they're it's basically melodic death metal is what it gets classified as.
It's very triumphant.
It is. And that's one of the things I like about it.
Yeah.
This is kind of out of character also for me to listen to.
I'm out of my element. I'm saying that right now.
Yeah, and listening to I love that.
Finally.
Yeah, they're an interesting band. They're a Swedish melodic death metal band from Tumba, founded in 1992. And fun fact, I mentioned this before, the name Amon Amarth is another name for Mount Doom from Lord of the Rings.
Isn't Avatar from Tumba?
They might be as well.
They're from Sweden, right?
Yeah, they're also from Sweden.
Okay.
I've been going through a weird like Swedish metal phase. I think the guys Arch Enemy has. I think the band members are Swedish, but I think the new lead singer is Canadian.
Huh.
I could be wrong about that. I could be thinking of somebody else, but I've been digging that Swedish shit, man.
The only Swedish bands I listen to are The Hives and
I didn't know they were Swedish.
The Knife, yeah.
The Knife. That sounds so familiar. So these guys, most of their lyrics, really, really like 95% of their lyrics is based around Norse mythology.
Yes.
Which is...
blatantly.
Yeah, which is awesome to me for some reason. And how I've been raving about God of War a lot on this podcast. I talk about it all the time. The most recent one on PS4 is incredible. It takes place in Norse mythology now. The previous ones were in Greek.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that, yeah.
Yeah, he's... and they kind of... I don't know. They tie it in kind of an interesting way a bit. But anyway, this band has some songs that get me pumped. And I've just kind of been generally going through a heavier sort of metal phase at work because I finally get what it means now when people who are into metal say that it's relaxing. My buddy Ryan, shout out to Ryan. We're going to get him on the podcast soon. He said that to me years ago. I'm like, what do you mean it's fucking relaxing? He's into really technical, a lot more intense metal than I am.
Yeah.
He's my metal guru, and now I get what he means, and I can't even explain.
I can understand that. Yeah, it's like I don't know. Once you listen to a lot of metal, I think it becomes like it doesn't feel as tense. It just feels more like you let all that kind of go through you, and it starts to feel relaxing.
Yeah, it's they take all the intensity and aggression and they let it out for you.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting at work listening to this motherfucker growl at me and shit. First of all, this guy's got like the deepest growly metal voice I've ever fucking heard.
He does. He has a aggressively deep voice.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
I dig it. He's kind of a one-trick pony in that regard.
Yeah. That was a gripe I had.
Yeah, he does a lot of the same little tricks.
It feels like he does the same thing over and over as far as vocal delivery. And
he does.
I might get some hate on this episode.
You know what though? He kind of does though, and it is what it is. And if you love it, and he does that all the time, then cool. Mm-hmm. So this is a band for me that has a couple albums that I really dig, but majority of their catalog I'm kind of neutral on. It's kind of plain. They don't have a ton of stuff that I'm like, oh, this sounds like shit. This is trash.
Yeah.
Most of it's either down the middle or I love it. I went through an Amon Amarth phase where I was just checking out each album, and a lot of them sound very similar. Yeah. But there's a couple that really stand out that have some cool material on them.
This is the only Amon Amarth album I've ever heard. So I'm coming at it with that.
This is not the best Amon Amarth album to come in on.
I figure they've been around since the 90s, right?
Yeah, early 90s. Started as a band called Scum in the early 90s, and then...
Scum?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder if that's a Napalm Death reference.
Possibly. I don't know. But they had a couple member changes, and released their first album in 1998.
Okay.
One Cent from the Golden Hall. Cool We're not here to talk about that. It is a cool name. All their albums have cool names. The Avenger, The Crusher, with Odin on our side.
It's aggressively Norse.
Twilight of the Thunder God. I think that's my favorite album of theirs. That's the album that people on the interwebs seem to love.
So far, that's the coolest name I've heard.
Twilight of the Thunder God.
Yeah.
As you can probably tell, the band is a bit cheesy.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, it's a little campy. Some of it's a little campy. Yeah, it's
lyrically, yes, I think.
Yeah, I love that they can stick to the Nordic theme and sing about Norse gods and shit.
Literally singing about dragons.
For like 11 albums.
Yeah.
They've been able to maintain that shit this whole time. And I don't know, it's cool. It's a feat.
Is it a feat?
I don't know. It's a little gimmicky, but it's fun. I don't know. It's
because to me, okay, this is me sounding like a ignorant moron. I'm out of my comfort zone
Finally,
here.
it's not me this time.
No, I understand how you feel now.
Fuck you.
When I was writing metal songs as a joke, I feel like
I think I know where you're going with this.
I feel like this is the type of lyrics that I would do, where I would just kind of just say dragons and fantasy things. And this sounds like metal lyrics.
100%.
It's like, I feel like you could create a generator at this point that could come out with metal lyrics like this.
Yeah.
And they're very intelligible, which I respect that.
Are they though?
For the most part, I could actually kind of tell what he was saying.
Cool.
Because the production's very clean.
I will say that's probably the best thing this album has going for it is the production.
Production's very clean. I don't know if I like that or not.
I think for this album it works 100%.
Yeah,
they've got albums that are very dirty sounding and a little rough to get through. You might like those more.
I might like that more.
I know you like that rough edge.
Yeah, I don't want to hear what he's saying, so I might like that more. Maybe a little too generic as far as the lyrics go.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair statement. So let's dive in a little bit here, give people a little taste. I'll dive in and say one of my standouts, not to jump ahead, is actually the first song, Fafner's Gold.
Okay.
This song right off the bat did something I'd never heard them do before. An acoustic guitar.
I like that.
I thought it sounded really good.
I think they need more of that.
I think so too. I really like what they did here.
There was a black metal album from a band called Ulver, I think, that was unlistenable except for this type of like Nordic acoustic guitar. I think it always sounds really good in metal music.
Yeah, they also have some strings on this album which are cool, but I don't think they have a very graceful transition between like the acoustic and this works here.
Yeah.
But on the song with the strings, we can get into that later. I don't think there's a very graceful transition between the strings and the rest of the song.
Yeah.
But this here, I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And this, honestly, not to jump ahead, this might have been my number one off the album.
Really?
Yeah. Which,
this is not one of my picks.
This was one of my picks. I think it's the acoustic guitar got me, it pulled me in. And I think the chorus stood out to me a bit more than
Dragon's Tail.
Yeah.
Fafner's Gold.
I can't even do it right now.
Fafner's Gold. A Dragon's
There
Tail.
it is. It's that right there. He does that constantly.
Yeah, that's all he does, pretty much.
It's the little.
There's like a
piece
moment
at the
where he
end.
doesn't do that.
He does that all the time.
He always
And
ends it.
Yeah, it's the same concept as like what's his name? Oh Jesus Christ, James Hetfield, and then like,
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. It's like a vocal like habit.
Just their little thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was cool, and they do have a new drummer effective.
Drummer's good.
See, I think this is kind of cool right here. I think this has a cool chorus.
It's cool.
The drummer's cool. He's new as of this album, but I feel like some of his fills are a little overly. They don't feel very tight, I guess.
Okay.
But I did go back and listen to some of their other albums, and I'm like, no, it's not as good as the other one. And I'm like, well, he's up to par.
Okay.
Not that they're bad by any means, but sometimes I feel like his fills are a little haphazard.
Okay.
Not quite as tight. How much bullshit can I do real quick rather than like...
Yeah, and that works for me because I don't know drums very well. So it's like, as someone who is like a casual metal, this type of metal appreciator, it's like very clean and very involved. So I'm like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging like his hits, like what is he hitting? I'm just he's hitting a lot of things.
I love it when I can hear complex metal drum fills that perfectly line up with the beat. There's nothing slurred in there. When I can hear that everything clicks and is very tight and just right, I'm like, ooh, that sounds nice. Having said that, my taste in metal is weird.
Yeah.
I'm not into like super, super overly technical stuff. And I'm not normally into like melodic metal that much. These guys are probably like the one exception so far. I'm sure there's others out there that I'd really dig, but these guys are just very niche.
You should have had your friend on for this show. Neither of us really know anything about this type of metal, I don't think.
Oh, we'll get him on.
Yeah.
He's coming on. But, aside from all of this, actually there's a folk metal band that just started following me on Instagram that's actually pretty cool, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. And I listened to them a little bit, and it was kind of cool. I'm into weird metal right now, man. Groove metal, folk metal. There's a band called Ailstorm that's like pirate metal, and I like them a lot.
Do you like...
a bit, I should say. I like them a bit.
Do you like metal that's kind of funny, like kind of like gimmicky?
I think I do.
Okay.
To an extent.
You like to listen as like something that's like trying to be as like bombastic and over the top as possible? Is that what you're into?
I think so.
Okay.
Within reason. Like Avatar is pretty goofy, and their earlier albums are it's like serious. It's more like some sort of core. I do like, and I don't know.
I appreciate goofy stuff to an extent. I love Psy. They're probably the goofiest metal band I can think of.
Yeah.
But I like the just heavy...
You like sludge.
Heavy, sludgy, raw stuff, yeah. I'm kind of all over the place, too. But this is out of my wheelhouse as far as the genre of metal, the subgenres I go for.
So, I guess... As we are wont to do, we're kind of jumping all over the place. Give me some of your initial thoughts of this album.
Okay, so the first time I listened to this album, I was bored, to be honest.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty generic. The vocals were fine. They're low, which I liked. There's things about it I like. I don't know, like if I'm in a certain mood, it sounded good, but none of the riffs really got me. Nothing was very catchy or very like... It wasn't intense enough for me.
Yeah.
It was like, it felt like they were kind of phoning it in if I had to judge. And I don't want to claim to know anything about melodic, whatever this is, but,
Nordic melodic death metal.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to stuff with like a similar effect. I feel like High on Fire, Krallis, I mean, those bands wouldn't ever be mentioned in the same breath as this band, but I feel like they're trying to accomplish the same thing, which is just like very like triumphant, heavy stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I like the triumphant. These guys it's like this epic gloriousness that's like uplifting, like, oh, fuck yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that aspect of it. I dig it.
It's like got this weird power to it that's kind of cool.
And I like weird power.
Yeah.
But it just like, okay, the lyrics were distracting to me because they were so generic. It was distracting to me. It felt like there was no inspiration because it was like, okay, let's talk about Thor. Let's talk about, lightning. It's just like...
You fucking nailed it.
It's like, it felt like they were just like, okay, what's cool? Yeah. Thor, mountains, just like all this stuff. I don't remember what they talked about.
The Valkyrie, Odin.
Yeah. Just pick something Norse or like in nature, and let's just sing about it. It didn't feel like it was coming from any. Not that I need it to be a personal thing, but I felt no connection because I don't think that they feel any connection. I don't feel like they.
Well, I think that they did, and I think that they're kind of. Maybe at this point running out of things to sing about.
Yeah, and just
maybe
just to transition because I feel like I just transitioned. I was going over my initial thoughts, and that's still my thoughts.
Gotcha.
So
I'm not mad at it because I'm not that far off.
Yeah,
from where you are.
It felt uninspired, and I can see people liking this. I think that it's not bad. It didn't offend me in any way. It just felt like. Okay, let's make something heavy. I have a super deep voice that's really good. We're good at what we do. It just felt like they were banging it out. Like they felt like they were seasoned at it.
Well, and here's a note that I'll add on to that is the singer waited until all the music was done before writing any of the lyrics. And now here's the thing is I'm starting to think that I don't really like that approach. Maybe there's some bands with material that I love that does that and I don't realize it, as opposed to the singer being present for the material and like trying to feel it with them.
There's something to say for like being present for like the process of writing the music. I don't know. I think you can even say the same thing about rap to an extent. I know but
it's like
the convention for hip hop is like, or rap is like, I have this beat, here you go, rap over it. But a lot of the classics are people with like a partnership. It's like that's the classic stuff in the 90s. A lot of that, not all of it, but a lot of it was like a producer rapper partnership where they kind of like collaborated very closely together, and you can kind of see that.
You can structure it a bit as opposed to like trying like, oh, the music's done, let's force these lyrics to fit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like I said, I'm sure there's a lot of bands that do it this way, and I just don't even realize it, and it comes out great.
I'm
and
sure
I love it.
People are good. I'm sure some people are good at it, but
the last, Amon Amarth and Korn are the last two bands that I've known that have like been vocal about like, I just wait till the music's done, then I go in and write the lyrics, and it's like, okay, I get that, but like when I'm writing a song, I typically will write the lyrics with the music because that can affect what I'm going to do next. That can completely change the structure I'm going for in a song.
Yeah.
Sure, the music might come out cool, and it's like, oh, just, leave the vocalist to figure it out from there. It's like, well, I really wish there was some sort of change here so I could I don't know. I feel like maybe that way it comes out forced, but everybody's got their own process.
Or just to get the vibe of the room while the music's being created so you know how, like, to approach it, just so you can kind of mirror that. I don't know. Like, be coming from the same place.
And be that as it may, who knows if I'm using that phrase right, I don't think that it completely worked out for him on this album.
Yeah, it felt... I want to avoid saying lazy, but I don't think I will. I think it's lazy. It felt lazy.
I didn't think it seemed lazy, but...
It didn't feel inspired particularly, is where I faulted with this album.
I had a lot of moments of... Okay, for example, with Pile, when it would go into the next song, sometimes I'd be like, oh shit, this is a different song. I didn't realize the song was... I was still grooving on the other song. I didn't realize this was... This one, there was a lot of... a bit of, oh, I'm still listening to this song? This is still going on?
Yeah. It's just... They just changed the key slightly. They like... Yeah.
Yeah, or it's just, that...
They go higher in the key. It's like... A dragon's tail. A dragon's tail.
A dragon's tail. Jesus fuck.
He says that.
Does he?
In Fafnir's Gold, he does say that.
Oh, Jesus. Do you know who Fafnir was? Sometimes called Fafnir.
Is he a dragon?
Yes, but he was a dwarf who was really greedy and either got turned into a dragon or slowly became a dragon over time somehow because of his greed. A lot of the Norse, like, people are... They're a little... Not the people, the gods or, like, legends like that are a little... they're kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Like Thor and Odin they're kind of fucked.
I could dive in. I think I might be interested in Greek or Norse mythology.
I like it. I'm more into mythology than our own real life history of planet Earth.
Well, that's way more interesting. That's why it exists.
Yeah.
Well, not why, but
most of my knowledge comes from God of War. I'll be playing the game and be like, oh, who's this guy? And then I'll look it up. And then I'll find some detail that just makes me, like, plunge into appreciation for the game and, like, the research they did. Like, oh, they changed that up just a little bit. And this is how they did it. That's genius because this aspect is correct based on mythology. This is how they adapted it to the game. It completely works. Anyway, I'm ranting right now. Doesn't fucking matter. But this is a band that, like, it gets me pumped and makes me want to play that game. And they're two things I enjoy. So
yeah, I mean, hey, I've never played that game. I barely even watched the Marvel Thor.
Have you seen the third one, Thor Ragnarok?
That's the only one I've seen.
That's the only one you need to see.
Yeah, that's the only one I've seen. So whatever. I mean, I'm not like drawn to that style or that scene. I just called Norse mythology a scene.
A scene.
But
You fucking pleb.
it's just whatever. It's not for me. But I just, regardless, I feel like they might have phoned in a little bit here.
Are you not that into like themed music like this? Because I didn't think I was either. But something about these guys, I think it's just so much of a crazy theme. I don't even want to call it a gimmick.
Yeah.
It's just. I feel like calling it a gimmick or goofy is like would be insulting to them, but I like it. I like that it's just this niche. They just got this motif over all of it. And
I can't say I'm against it. I'm trying to think of an exception though. Yeah, I mean, like, I could say like, there's a lot of metal that I like that's demonic or whatever, but I can't. Let
me run down the track listing on this album real quick.
We haven't done that yet.
Now that we're completely ahead of ourselves, we have Fafnir's Gold, Crack the Sky, Mjolnir, Hammer of Thor, Shield Wall, Valkyria, Raven's Flight, Ironside, The Berserker at Stamford Bridge, When Once Again We Can Set Our Sails, Skull and Hati, Wings of Eagles, and Into the Dark. So some of these are spelled different than I'm accustomed to, and I think I've seen a lot of different spellings in Norse mythology. I feel like Greek mythology, as a comparison, it's kind of straightforward. Mm-hmm. Nobody really spells their names that different. Everybody's kind of got their set story.
Yeah.
But with Norse, I've read different things on different... Like okay, Skull and Hati, those are two wolves that chase the sun and the moon. And it's... based on legend, when they finally catch the sun and the moon, that's about the time that Ragnarok initiates. And Ragnarok is basically like the end of times.
Okay.
So they've basically got like their own story. But like Fafnir, one story is like, oh, he got turned into a dragon because of his greed. Another one was, oh, he turned into a dragon over time because of his greed. No one turned him into that.
Maybe it's just lost in translation.
Yeah, I've seen like Fafnir. I've seen Fafnir. I've seen Fafnir where there's no E. It's just N-R.
Well,
that type of thing is common too.
Speaking as a Jewish person, I could say coming from Hebrew, there's a lot of things that are spelled in a lot of different ways. It's just different characters. So I'm wondering if this is the same sort of thing.
It could be. Yeah. But it's all, it's not completely convoluted.
Yeah.
But it's there's a bit of differences based on your source,
right.
I guess. Did you have any standouts on this?
I had two standouts and one mention. I'm going to do my mention real quick.
Go for it.
And I want to get your opinion on this.
I blew my load with my number one.
Okay.
So
we were talking about the drums earlier. There's a song, Wings of Eagles. It starts a certain way, and it reminded me of a Converge song called Eagles Become Vultures. So I want to play you both those songs.
Okay.
The rest of the song sounds nothing alike, but here you go. Wings of Eagles. It's a cool intro.
Yeah.
So that's Wings of Eagles. Very similar name to Eagles Become Vultures. Converge. Cooler song.
I think it is kind of a cooler song, actually.
This is a tight song.
This is by who again? Converge?
Converge.
All right, I might have to look up Converge.
Converge rules. That's my type of metal.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the only time I've ever moshed was at a Converge show.
You moshed.
I moshed.
I can't imagine you moshing. Yeah.
I moshed. It was Converge and Neurosis in San Francisco.
I can't imagine you not moshing.
It was Converge. It's Converge.
It's Converge.
Anyway, what do you think? Similar intro, similar name.
I see what you're going for. I don't know that I would have made that connection because I feel like there's a lot of metal songs that start off with some weird drums and shit
but they both have eagles in the name.
All right.
Like plural, eagles. Wings of Eagles and Eagles Become Vultures. Anyway, it's probably a stretch, but it's a good excuse to play that Converge song because it's a tight-ass song.
Fair. Can I use Eagles as an excuse to play a song that I like?
As long as it's not the Eagles.
It's not the Eagles.
You can't do that. That's where I draw the freaking line.
This is The Eagle Has Landed by Avatar.
Mm.
These guys are groove metal. This is the song that introduced me to Avatar. We're not here to talk about Avatar,
They're
but I want to talk
metal?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, because when I listen to this, I'm like, I came across it through some artist radio, and the way his singing was on this, I'm like, it does a lot of shit that I didn't like before, but then something about it was just kind of groovy.
Yeah. Groovy.
We're going for it. Groovy, goofy.
Baby.
But yeah, these riffs are just kind of. I was like, okay, this is kind of
It's pretty goofy.
a little bit, but like, I don't know. I couldn't get it out of my head. This right here, I hate.
Oh wow.
I did not like that. I like it. I'm fine with it now.
What's the song? Eagles what?
The Eagle Has Landed.
Oh, okay.
But this is the song I mentioned. Oh, right here is where it gets kind of.
Yeah, I don't like this.
You don't like this?
No, I don't like
this. I listened to it at first and I was like, oh, this is kind of shitty. But then I listened to the whole thing and I'm like, oh, actually, it's like goofy enough that I kind of dig it. This is the one that has like what sounds like harmonized whammy solos, like they're using their whammy bars and harmonizing them. I could be wrong.
Well,
But anyway,
let's move on to my actual picks. Shield Wall was my first pick. I thought that this song...
this is a cool riff.
It was a cool riff, and it was probably one of the best choruses.
This was one of my standouts, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah. It was one of the best choruses. It actually made me feel something, which I appreciated.
Jesus. Made me feel something. Christ.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often. But it's just like... kind of like a Dragula vibe.
Dragula? Like Rob Zombie? Oh my god. Now I know why you got so mad when I said something about...
I'm just trying to push your buttons
You
here.
triggered me.
Yeah, well, you did that exact thing to me.
That was not the exact thing. I didn't say that... Okay, we're rehashing this. Fucking Melvins... King Bozo did something with his vocals that was a vocal thing, like a certain layering.
I'll never be on your side about this.
I related it to a Rob Zombie song, and I made the mistake of saying that it sounded like Rob Zombie, and you got so mad. Don't say that this sounds like Rob Zombie.
This sounds more like Rob Zombie than your dumb
I'm going to show you both vocals later. I'm going to show you both of them, and I'm going to show you why. It was a vocal layering. It wasn't... The song didn't sound like Rob Zombie.
Nope.
You know what the fuck I'm saying?
Nope. Not listening.
God damn it.
La 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 la.
Not listening.
Wow. I only have 2 track picks. Like I said, 2 and one that Iron mentioned. Honorable mention. Speaking of Ironside. Better be on your track picks because this is the best song on the album.
You think so?
Yeah.
This was not on my track picks.
Wow.
It started in such a way that I was like, oh, this might be one of my picks.
Uh-huh. It's cool right here.
You notice he says Ironside?
Yeah. Ironside. The coolest part about this song is when he speaks in his normal voice because it's like the deepest freaking voice.
Yeah. I like just hearing him talk. It is just so triumphant. It just gets me...
This cannon is my true name. They call me Ironside.
Ironside.
Yes.
This is for me, this felt the most epic and it felt pretty good. So
I like this album more now than I have in the last 2 weeks.
just hearing him do that just now,
yeah.
with me in the room.
Yeah. Drinking and listening to this and talking about it, it's getting me pumped.
Yeah. So those are my 2 track picks.
Okay.
The rest of it's pretty whatever.
It's all kind of on the same level.
It all kind of hits the same tone. It all kind of hits the same like the theme is the same. It just give me some variation. That's why I liked Ironside so much because I feel like there was dynamics. At least he dropped out and talked a little bit. His
Yeah.
vocal delivery changed slightly.
I want to bring up my last standout, and then I want to show you 2 songs of theirs that get me juiced. Can I do that?
Okay.
Is that fine? Maybe 3 because 1 I just really like the riff too. Valkyria is one of my standouts that I thought it was cool.
This is pretty good. Yeah.
I think this riff is kind of cool, but it also just feels, I don't know, a lot of the songs on here sound like they're more fun to play than listen to.
These I'm sure these guys would be really cool to see live.
Yeah,
or
they're
fun at least.
They're going on tour. I think they're coming to San Francisco or something.
Yeah, I won't be there.
Me and Ryan are talking about going. You want to go?
No, I'm not going to go.
Come on, come with us. The next 2 songs I play are going to be what you go there for.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm open to negotiation, but
Okay.
right now, no. Some
of it is just kind of like, I can listen to this, or I can go back and listen to this other song that I like better that has a similar riff.
Is the Valkyria? Is this the one that has a crazy ass guitar solo, or like a guitar solo?
Well, let's find out. And it ends with some little piano. No guitar solo.
Okay, I don't know what song I'm thinking of.
But this piano here at the end is really cool.
Yeah.
The riff works great as a piano line.
Yeah, well, they need more stuff like this.
Get some liquid soft gels in there.
Just dynamics. I mean, I say that all the time, but...
Well, these guys don't have graceful dynamics. It's either this, and then it's just blasted right into guitar. There's no, like up,
There's no crescendo, decrescendo. It's just like everything drops out but one instrument or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, let me show you a couple songs that get me juiced. Twilight of the Thunder God, the song. This song starts off. This might have been the first album I really listened to with these guys. This has a ridiculous guitar solo, like dumb, but it goes so dumb that I like it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'll get that far into it. This is one of the favorites.
Yeah, so far this is better than anything else on the album.
The drums are insane on this.
Yeah. This is cool.
It's good. This is
cool. Good. Yeah, this is a pump up worthy.
Right here. Yeah. Your destiny awaits.
Yes.
Yes.
I always knew it.
Thor. It's about Thor, the thunder god. All right, you want to hear like a just cheese guitar solo?
Yeah.
Oh, there's that there too. Yes.
See, this song has like
this is very
stuff in it.
It's a very like typical sound.
Yeah, but
very stereotypical.
There's things to break it up.
I don't like their guitar solos.
This is pretty cool.
It's just so like noodly, but
yeah. Hell yeah! No, this is cool. They need more of this on their new album.
All right.
I need more.
Wait for the band.
They didn't push hard enough on the new album. I feel like listening to that makes me like this album less.
Here's my favorite song. This song gets me pumped and makes me want to makes me want to play God of War. This song is called Guardians of Asgard.
Everything is would you like this band if God of War didn't exist?
I don't know.
I used to listen to metal and play video games. I listened to Boris and played Ninja Gaiden.
But the thing is, when I'm having a hard time at work, I put this on and I listen to it, and it gets all my aggression out and frustration and anger without me having to.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate this band for. This band has done me a solid by doing that for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
zone.
His vocals a little different.
It sounds like it hurts. When I hear vocals like that, I'm like, ow.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're about to start coughing.
Yeah.
Stop it. Please eat a lozenge.
How do you do that so often without having to cough?
I don't know, man. With that sort of tone, I'm not sure. That's right.
See, I like this a lot more.
Guardians of
Asgard.
Asgard, yeah. Of Asgard.
Guardians of Ass, full stop.
Guard. Ass, full stop. Okay, one more. I'm sorry. This one here is called Raise Your Horns. When they play this song, they have horns full of beer
Yeah.
that they chug. And it
Nice.
it spills all over their beards and stuff, and it's amazing.
So this is like, seeing them is like going to medieval times. It's like, is there like a sword fight and like a turkey leg?
That's medieval times. Mythological times.
Whoa. If anyone listens to this, they would hate that comment I just made.
Probably anybody who's listening that loves Amon Amarth is going to hate you. But it's all right, because anybody who loves Tyler, the Creator, is going to hate me. So
Yeah. Bring it on, bitch.
I've got the Asgardians on my side.
I'm ready.
Pour a beer for thirsty men. Treat that they have earned, I think is what it is.
See,
Just wait, Scott. This is it.
Ian's fist pumping right now.
Full fist up in the air
He's running around the room like a freaking weirdo.
with a half boner. The only thing keeping it from a full boner is that I'm running around the room.
You have impeccable mic technique for someone who's running full speed around this room.
Well, you know what? I've been working on my cardio and my mic technique. Okay, so that's the bee's knees right there. This song does something fucking cheesy and stupid at the end that I kind of hate, but I kind of love, and it's literally the last second of the song, and I just want to show you what it is.
The last second.
Roughly the last second.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
There's no guitar solo, just...
Yeah. I respect that. I respect the hell out of that.
Let's listen to it again.
Yep.
That's it. It's the only time the guitar does anything remote to that.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
cool.
There are other songs that get me pumped off the albums that have those songs on them, but
They get you jacked off.
they get me jacked off. I like to jill off to them.
Go full Jill.
I'm jilling. Oh, God, that's graphic.
These songs get me rolling down that hill.
You jack or you jill?
I don't know which one rolls down the hill. They both do, right?
Well, yeah.
Jack came tumbling down.
I think they both die, meaning that the moral here is if you jack off or jill off, you're going to hell.
Whatever.
Isn't that the Catholic way?
Well, I'm good then. I never do either of those. I only rub one out.
I don't think there's anything sufficient that I can add on to that.
Hey, technically I'm good.
Oh, boy. Those are the songs that get me jacked. Nothing on this album got me jacked.
No, this album didn't go hard enough. Listening to those, now that I know what they're capable of, this album didn't approach that level.
No.
Now I really think they phoned it in. Now I'm like, you guys just push in any direction. Like, I don't know. Just the wow, wow. Just do that on any song.
Just end every song with a little bendy.
Yeah, do anything. They don't push themselves above any, they have it's like a mid-line that they never cross on this album.
That song is the one song. That song alone makes me want to see them live, because I want to see them yell out to the crowd with respect and chug a fucking beer and yell like raise your horns. I want to hear that chorus live in front of me.
Yeah.
I want to hear him growl that in front of my face.
Yeah. I don't know. This is like BYOTL. Bring your own turkey leg.
The fuck?
I'm still going with the medieval times riff thing.
Fuck you and your medieval times.
Nah, dude.
Earbuddies.
Scott, you want to get into your final thoughts on this album here?
Yeah. One quick thing I just noticed. One quick thing is that they included this band on the Kick-Ass Metal playlist. I've just noticed that.
Well, they kick ass, so are you surprised?
So what else is on this playlist? Slipknot.
Oh, God.
Trivium.
Oh, no.
In Flames, Skillet. Okay, that's enough.
Jesus.
So all I know is that the only Skillet that I listen to is the one that they deliver me when I order it at Denny's.
That is the second lowest class of Skillet.
What?
The first lowest class of Skillet is the band.
Oh.
The highest, it's probably a Skillet from Red Lobster.
I've never been to Red Lobster.
I think I've been there once. I don't remember.
Well,
so fuck him.
If he fucked me good, I'd take his ass to Red Lobster. My final thoughts.
Jesus.
Yeah, we listen to Beyonce on this podcast.
Is that a Beyonce lyric?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was quoting Beyonce. This album is fine. Now that my rating's going to be lower now because I know what this band's capable of. I do really think that they phoned this in. I think that the lyrics were uninspired. I think that there was nothing over the top instrumentally really either. It was hard for me to pick standouts on this album.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it was the same tone pretty much the entire time, which was triumphant. It just didn't hold my attention. It felt like a chore to listen to it. I'm going to go with a 3.
A 3?
Yeah, what's our scale?
Damn, our scale. What's our scale? Oh, yeah, what is this out of? All right. Fafnir's testicles. How many sacks of Fafnir's testicles are you going to give this?
How many sacks?
Yeah.
Can I do half sacks?
You can do a half sack.
Okay. Just because I could do a half sack, I was going to go 3 Fafnir sacks. I'm going to go 3.5 Fafnir sacks because the visual of that creeps me out. And
so that's a total of 7 Fafnir testicles.
Whoa. Okay. That's way too high. Hold on.
No. But it's fine because it's out of a total of 20.
It's out of 20. Okay.
Yeah. Fafnir sack. I mean, you're going to have two testicles.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So 7. Yeah.
7.
But which is 3.5 is my score.
3.5
just to be clear.
Damn.
Out of 10.
I'm not surprised that this album didn't do anything for you, but I'm kind of surprised that you were as critical on like the whole Norse thing as you were on like the themed aspect.
I don't think it would have bothered me at all. I think I would have loved it if it was a good album. If it was if it was intense, like the instrumentation was kick ass and like they actually followed through with how insane they were in the past, I think I would have loved the Norse lyrics.
Yeah.
I think just they stood out because the instrumentation felt kind of uninspired. So like what do I take? Like these plain instrumentals or these like straight up Norse mythology. Like I don't get anything out of that.
Yeah.
So
I like mythology stuff, so I think it kind of sticks with me a little bit more.
But it's like, okay, you talk using lyrics from one thing to it just feels lazy, You're only pulling from one source.
Yeah, you're limiting yourself.
You're narrowing your scope.
How many times can you sing about Thor?
Yeah, and how many times have they sung about Thor? It's probably double digits at this point, right?
I'm not going to speak to that.
I just think, I don't think their fan base would hate them if they did something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, some of their songs talk about golden shores and,
And lightning in the sky.
Dying in battle and Berserker. I don't think
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, okay. I'm sure.
I don't know what the battle at Stamford Bridge means, but I don't know if that's a Nordic reference. It
just feels like a crutch. It feels like their comfort zone,
okay.
which is, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to go with 4, because it's like, okay, I mean, that's kind of their thing, but it just doesn't do anything for me. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's fair. I don't have a ton to add to that for my final rating. I'm not that far off. I like these guys, but as I said, they got 2 albums that get me really, really juiced, and then most of their other material I'm kind of okay on, if not lukewarm. This falls into the lukewarm category.
Yeah.
But something about these guys, I appreciate what they do. I think there's entertainment to it.
They put themselves in a corner a little bit.
Yeah, and that's fine. They've got a pretty loyal fan base, and this is by far not their best album, and that's fine. I don't think it's bad. I think the production quality behind it is the best aspect of the album. I think it sounds good. I think
Yeah, it's very clean.
Tonally, it's very clean. And some could argue that as working against it, depending on your preference. But
yeah,
I know that they are capable of doing better than this. They have done better than this, and you can't always say like, oh, they did this album, this is their best album, why can't they just do something like that again? Like, that's not how this shit works, But it's not different enough from what they've done in the past.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's very down the middle for me.
Show me the money. How many testicles?
I'm gonna give this,
or scrotums.
I'm gonna give this.
How many scaly scrotums?
I'm gonna give this 5.5. 5.5 Fafnir sacks. Fafnir in dragon form as opposed to dwarf form.
Oh, I could have given dwarf sacks?
You could have given dwarf sacks, yeah.
Okay, I'm changing it then. I want 3.5 dwarf sacks.
3.5 dwarf sacks?
Yeah. Because I wanted to give it a 3, so I want to give, do you think that his sack got bigger when he became a dragon? Because that's what I assumed, but maybe not.
What if it stayed the same?
Reptiles don't even have testicles.
Stayed the same size. It just went inward.
Reptiles have cloacas. Right?
Don't ask me.
Anyway, I'll choose to ignore that.
I never filleted a lizard before.
Filleted.
5.5 Fafnir dragon sacks. I like to think of this dragon as having some big old hanging.
A big bean bag.
It's a big old hanging bean. A big old hanging bean bag. Yeah, right between its dragon legs. Yeah. Horribly inconvenient. I'm also giving it Fafnir sacks as opposed to Fafnir sacks because I like Fafnir better, and that's how they say it in God of War.
Yeah,
IR instead of ER.
That's something we can agree on.
And I like God of War better than this album, and I think you would too.
I believe you, actually.
And that's it. And that's all I have to say about that. Scott, you want to wrap this shit up?
Let's wrap this up.
Anything you want to add?
I just want to let everybody know that we're not going anywhere.
That's a fair statement.
Yet.
Will I see you within a reasonable amount of time soon?
Yeah, let's do another one this week.
Okay, fair. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Scott, on behalf of you, me, and the Earbuddies collective, we want to remind everyone out there to check your epididdymisses. And with that, this has been Earbuddies.
Bye.
This has been another installment of the Earbuddies podcast. Bye-bye now.